Hey, welcome back to Tuesday afternoon.
Hi everybody, it's Tuesday and welcome back. Today we're making Moondrop from Security Breach. We're going to start with polymer clay, a foil base, and I'm going to use glass gems for the eyes. These white glass gems can be found in a mixed pack. They usually have black and white gems together. An important element of his face are his cheeks. They're a little bit up over his eyes, and one has a carved circle and the other one has a circle that is raised up. When you're blocking in the moon shape, you want to pay attention to the areas that are raised up higher, and also you need to make sure to make all the little craters like the ones on the top of the moon, the crescent moon, and then on his nose, and then at the bottom of the crescent moon, there are 3 little craters. Next, we'll be working on the back of his head, which I didn't include in the last video, and I meant to. This will allow his head to be able to turn full circle. And you're just going to take a piece of clay and apply it to the back of the head, and then you're going to take a sharp tool and push it through. Don't pierce the front of the head, but you want it in deep enough so your wire can be secure inside. Next, we're going to make his torso. We're just going to shape some aluminum foil and use original Sculpey over that. He has actually a upper and lower body, so you want to make sure you make that delineation, and then you're going to make a hole for his arms and legs and his neck. If you look at the character model, you'll see this kind of ridge around his arms, so I'm trying to recreate that. And when I start working his wiring for his arms, I think this will be a very interesting area. Also, don't forget to make the holes in his chest for his buttons. Next, we're going to be making his shoes. And these are probably my favorite part of the sculpting process because they are so rewarding and they're so easy to make. So check out my video before this when I made Sundrop. He is basically made just like Moondrop, except minor differences. And I didn't really want to repeat everything over and over again. I just kind of repeated the most important elements of his sculpture. So check out my other video if you would like to see more of the sculpting process. That being said, I did end up making the hands slightly different, as you could tell. I made individual segments, and I really like how this turned out rather than the other one. I was kind of afraid of it breaking, and this looks far closer to the original character. And with that same idea, I want to do polymer clay upper and lower arms. His upper arm is cylindrical in shape, and his forearm is actually shaped like a human's arm. You're going to want to also put a bead of polymer clay on both sides of the different segments of the upper and the lower part of the arm, and don't forget the holes so you can connect them all together. I also on the forearm added in a little electrical panel that appeared on the model. There's also a line running down the back of his upper arm. I just sculpted 5 bells and I baked them in the oven, and then I painted them. We're going to paint his shoes a gold color, and then I'm going to just use white paint and paint on the moon and the star on the other side. Next, we're going to take purple, ultramarine blue, and black, and we're going to mix them together and put it on the side, which is normally the sun part of the face. We're then going to paint the hand with white and ultramarine blue, and also the torso white and ultramarine blue. We're going to come back in, and then we're going to paint the lower forearm all ultramarine blue and the upper part of the arm white. We're going to come back in with some chalk pastel that we've shaved off, and we're going to shadow in the moon part of the face. I'm going to take some black chalk pastel with my brush, and I'm going to run it up and down his face and also down on his torso. I want it to look like he's been scraped, so I'm trying to recreate that effect. Next, we're going to add the ultramarine blue to his upper arm and then put the white accents on. We're going to make his arms next. We're going to insert hot glue into his upper torso and insert the wire, just to repeat the process for all the segments of his arms. This will allow him to pose. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I am always interested in what people want to see, so please let me know below. If you have any questions, let me know. We're next going to wrap some cloth around the wrists and in between the arms. This will be painted later on, and I didn't really want to add little clay segments because I wanted him to be able to easily pose. You can actually use the same material that you would find in a t-shirt. I actually added a little bit of stuffing onto the shoulder segment of his arm, and then I wrapped cloth around it and glued it into place. I then took some black acrylic paint and covered all of those segments. The neck is actually kind of interesting because his head actually needs to be able to telescope down. So I wanted some give, but I also wanted to keep the integrity of the neck. So what I did was wrap it with stuffing, and then I covered it in black duct tape and then put cloth over that. I intend on posing him several different ways, with his head kind of up in the normal position and then pulled down. I wanted it to be able to take the constant posing, and I also wanted it to be able to rotate fairly easily. So I thought this would be the best method. So we're going to attach his legs, and then we're going to cover those in stuffing. I went ahead and added material over the stuffing, but you really don't have to. I kind of covered this part more in depth in our last video. I'm going to add one layer of ultramarine blue onto muslin, but you can just buy a material in this shade. Doesn't really matter. I sewed the pants together, and then I added several layers of paint on top of that just so it has a nice coating of paint. I'm going to paint the stars on with yellow just so I get them in place where I like them, and then I'm going to go over it with white paint and then go over it with another layer of yellow paint. I did this because I wanted the stars to be really vivid like they are on the character, and I'm going to cover this with polyurethane. I'm going to cover his hat and his pants and about 3 layers of polyurethane. With his pants, I recommend actually stuffing them either with stuffing or even plastic bags. You want his pants to be very full, but you also want them to be able to pose easily. I went ahead and made the ruffles. I showed how to do that in the last video. They're made out of fabric that I've just painted, and I applied it with hot glue. I'm actually going to add 3 layers of polyurethane on top so they're very stiff. This will actually protect them because they'll probably get whacked at some time in the future, and you want them to keep that shape. I went ahead and painted his eyes red, and when I took the final picture, I wanted it to kind of have this light effect like a laser, so I added some white paint into the center part. And first what I did was I kind of smeared it a little bit, let that dry, and then added just a little white circle in the center. I didn't know if people would like that. It looked really good for the pictures, but I just went ahead and showed what it looked like with the plain red eye with the black border. You can decide if you want to add the white into the center. It's kind of just a preference. If you decide to make this, you won't be disappointed because he looks amazing on display. He looks like he's going to get up and creep around in the dark and come after you. It is amazing, and I love it, and I hope you make it because this has really added to my collection. And I plan on making more Security Breach characters. Next, I was thinking about making DJ Music Man, or the prototype, the one that crawls around in the vents. I don't know. Please let me know below which one you would like to see. Like and subscribe if you like this video or my content, and let me know what you think and if you're going to make this. So, I want to wish everybody a beautiful day. Thank you so much for watching.